Lucky Sean here, ready to bring you an eclectic collection of interesting Sailor Moon facts. Let's start with some iconic features of Sailor Moon. And just a heads up, we will be using the 90s English names in this video, and any episodes mentioned are referring to the Japanese episode number, except for when talking about The Price is Right. You'll see what I mean. After Serena transforms into Sailor Moon, she does the iconic speech about love and justice, and how in the name of the moon she will punish you. Did you know at the moment she signs "I love you" in American Sign Language? It could be a coincidence, or a well-placed Easter egg. Before she even gets to her speech, at the apex of her transformation being complete, she does her iconic power stance with a crescent moon in the background. Most people think the finger sign she's sporting on her forehead is a peace sign or a victory sign, but you may be surprised to know that she actually stole it from Sailor Venus. That's right. Okay, well, maybe not stole, but she borrowed it and made it her own. As many know, Sailor Venus' story began before Sailor Moon's. Heck, she even was so well known she had video games made after her. Sailor Moon's V-pose is a nice nod paying homage to the origins of her making, codenamed Sailor Venus. And since we're talking about her transforming, have you ever noticed how the very first thing she does is get her nails painted, and then not even 20 seconds later puts on gloves? I mean, cool power, but why? Let's take a look at how German has influenced the anime. I know, what about Germany could possibly influence Sailor Moon? But check this out. In the 60-second episode, Sailor Mercury is offered a fully paid scholarship to go and study in Germany to become a doctor. Now, this is a huge deal. Dedication and good grades in a high-pressure society like Japan whilst fighting crime is damn impressive. But why Germany? Well, fun fact, Japan adopted practicing and following German medicine as of 1871. Thus, learning German is beneficial to becoming a doctor, and therefore German is seen as something synonymous with intelligence. The anime further exemplified this in a few more ways. In the Sailor Moon R movie, we get to see through the eyes of Sailor Mercury while her visor goggles are on. Ever notice how the text is all in German? Again, a nod to showing sophistication by design. Clockwise, it reads weight, oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, probability, speed, energy, temperature, and facility. Episode 126 shows the medical chart of Professor Tomoe. It's a mix of Japanese and German. Now allow me, someone who speaks neither Japanese or German, to give you the translations in case you're wondering. Kopfschmeisen, meaning headache, Garteschneisen, meaning memory, Sprachenheises, seriously, the words for speech and obstacles smashed together with incorrect grammar. Harnaschnackerderschiget, what the heck, urine probe, Tropfen, meaning drops, and finally vitamin. Well, vitamin was obvious at least. So far, we're beginning to paint the picture of German being positively correlated with intelligence. Thaiki from Sailor Stars scores higher on exams than even our beloved Amy Mizuno. And no surprise, Thaike can read German, as seen in episode 179. He's reading a book called Die Scharf von Vernunft, which translates to The Sharpness of Reason. But don't worry, these aren't the only books we see in Sailor Moon. We see a whole variety. Here we see in episode 109 a person reading a book called Sekken, which is Physical Punishment. In this still shot from episode 70, there's a few things going on here. First off, there's a book on top of the pile with both Serena and Rini on it. The book she is reading is Run Run, which at the same time was a manga magazine that featured new manga. Codenamed Sailor Venus was actually in there in real life once upon a time. There we go, a nice simple nod with a cameo to its story of origins. Now for Easter eggs! Sailor Moon had a bunch of other cameos and Easter eggs all throughout. Episode 52 shows how pathetic the bad guys are by targeting a bunch of kindergartners. The main child, Carrie, has a Sailor Moon brooch, which is an exact replica of a real-life merchandise item. But the merchandise doesn't stop there. In episode 19, look at this awesome cast in the claw machine in Crown. We got Sailor V, Sailor Mars, Tuxedo Mask, Queen Beryl, and some characters you might not be familiar with, but they are from the Goldfish Warning anime. Here's a fun one that most people don't notice. When Katsi grabs her bag from Chad in episode 70, a mini Zoisite character appears in between frames. Cute. And perhaps one of my favorite recently found facts, a prize presenter was dressed as Sailor Moon in an episode of The Price is Right from November 4th, 2008. Along with it is a Bare Naked Ladies song, One Week, being recited in perfect timing to show the prize.
Don't always flying off the backswing. Gotta get in tune with Sailor Moon because that cartoon's got the boom anime babes that make me think the wrong thing.
It's pretty neat to think that Sailor Moon has become so iconic that English songs mention it, but it doesn't stop there. Sailor Moon has captivated audiences all over the world. Sailor Moon has been a source of inspiration globally. Many animated series have paid homage to this. Heck, even The Simpsons. Several times. Koenma in episode 106 of Yu Yu Hakusho is dressed like Tuxedo Mask. This was made possible by a very special type of bond. Marriage. Sailor Moon references appear in places you'd not expect to see them to. Like in One Punch Man, when Puri Puri Prisoner transforms. A global inspiration, yes, but also a lot of Sailor Moon storyboards and character designs were globally inspired, and here are several great examples. Episode 39 hits the ice and we meet two characters, Janlin and Misha, who are actually based off two real-life people from the US, famous figure skaters Janet Lin and John Misha Pektovich. Another real human inspiration is of Princess Rubina's design, which is thought to be inspired by the Princess of Wales Diana. The resemblance is pretty uncanny. However, some believe that Princess Rubina is based on Audrey Hepburn's character, Princess Anne or Anya Smith, from the 1953 film Roman Holiday. Which do you think? And since we're looking at well-known figures, how about Helios, who's based off the Greek god of the sun, known for having winged horses? But let's not get too far ahead of ourselves. Let's take a look at something more subtle. Nephlite drove the 512 TR Ferrari Testarossa, not too long before its real-life release in 1992. But don't worry, he isn't all just fancy cars, he also likes to play with dolls. The evil spirit in episode 18 is called Jaumont. These dolls are a real thing from the French Bisque doll company back in the 1840s. And since we're talking about monsters, episode 53 depicts a Shinto deity, Amaterasu, goddess of the sun. The guardian itself is named Amaterasu. Yeah? Neat. Here's a completely seemingly random cameo. Remember that episode with the amusement park? Episode 32, where there's a live action show happening with a guy in a red costume? Well, this is none other than Red Man from 1972. Let's do some more random facts before we get into some neat concept art. The word parlor is misspelled at the end of episode 129, but then fixed moments later in another shot in the exact same scene. Rini's favorite food, according to the 73rd episode of the 90s anime, is hotcakes. Let's talk about dolls again for a second. I absolutely love this Queen Beryl doll, if only because of the trivia that is on the back. You know, it's almost like a dating profile. Tall, dark hair, dark features. 20-something-year-old woman looking for love. I like anarchy and chaos. When I'm not busy controlling my many henchmen, I like to indulge in hobbies, including snooping, spying, and sabotage. I'm not overly fond of those wretched Sailor Scouts, but don't get me even started on them. I'm set for world domination, but Bachelor number 1, tell me how you'd dominate my world. Now, unless you watched the Japanese episode, you may have missed this one growing up as a child in English-speaking countries as it was cut. In episode 42, Usaki used the disguise pen to become an actual sailor. In doing so, she instantly learned how to pilot a speedboat. Magic indeed. In episode 9, it was revealed that Ikuko and Kenji Sakino, Serena's parents, sleep in separate beds. How quaint. In the original Japanese anime, during the segment of the 3 Sailor Scouts being silhouettes, they remain silhouettes for the first 5 episodes. Episode 6 onward, it is changed and they are all revealed. It's kinda too bad that they didn't reveal them one by one as they became known to the story. Oh well. In episode 49 of the Dic DUB, the English translation team named the episode Food Fetish. Not sure if they're aware exactly what connotation comes with the word fetish, but let's go with a safer bet from the official Merriam-Webster dictionary of an object of irrational reverence or obsessive devotion, and pretend its other definition of an object whose presence is psychologically necessary for sexual gratification doesn't exist. maybe they just missed the concept of the episode. Speaking of concepts, let's check out some concept art and get a better understanding of the Sailor Scouts and their origins. Ever wonder why Serena has blonde hair and Darien has black hair, and yet their daughter, oh, spoiler alert, big shocker I know, has pink hair? In the original concept art of Sailor Moon, Naoko Takeuchi had her with pink hair. But what about the red eyes? Easy. Original concept art of Serena's mother has both pink hair and red eyes, thus said genetic makeup is present. Darien's real name in the Japanese version is Chiba Mamoru. Its translation is a pun alluding to Protector of Earth. Basically, he is Sailor Earth. He even would sometimes be seen with a shirt sporting exactly that. Naoko Takeuchi, creator of Sailor Moon, dedicated time to aid in the design of the first 3 Yoma. What is a Yoma, you ask? Oh, just your average run-of-the-mill yokai, aka spirit, that is able to shape-shift to conceal its true form. Here is the original concept art. From left to right, in order of appearance, we see Maruga, Balm, and Fararu, and some other unused monster that's probably still hiding in a swamp somewhere named Moa. Although never officially named in the anime, the cat that attacks Luna in the 31st Japanese episode is named Ashley, named after Ashley Wilkes from the book Gone with the Wind, as the episode has other references to the book as well. In an interview with the English voice actor for Molly, Mary Long said her intent behind Molly's accent was to differentiate her specifically from the Sailor Scouts.
Better than 911. Must have been dropped on his head as a child.
Before we go, here's a neat fact about Sailor Mars. Ray has 2 guardian crows named Deimos and Phobos, so no surprise, these are the actual names of the moons of Mars, and in the manga, at one point can even reach human form. Cool! If you want more Sailor Mars facts, I suggest you check out the Sailor Mars fact video. If you want to learn more about censorship, then you'll want to check out this video on the right. This has been Lucky Sean of BulbaTube. Thanks for stopping by.